Hello, Shady Grove. Pastor Todd here with the midweek announcement. Hard to believe that this is the last day of January, getting ready to start up February tomorrow. And just want to remind you about a few things coming up here at the church. Next Wednesday, February the 7th at 7:30 in the multi-purpose room right behind the sanctuary, we'll be having a meet and greet time of reception for Pastor Barry. So just encourage you to come out if you hadn't had an opportunity to meet him yet. Come and be a part of that. Also want to remind you that this month our preschool registration will be starting. Most of you know we have a weekday preschool that meets here at the church Monday through Friday, and so that registration will be starting for our current preschool families. It starts on February the 12th. And then for the church families that are interested but not yet in the preschool, that registration will be February the 16th, and then we open up to the community on February 19th. So if that's a ministry you are interested in, encourage you to take advantage of that as soon as possible because it does fill up, and this year we have a waiting list for our classrooms. You can contact the preschool at Shady Grove preschool.com, or you can contact Stephanie at preschool@shadygrove.net. February the 20th at 5:30 in the community center, Pastor Phil and our Young at Heart group will be having a chili dinner. If you are interested in that, you're in that group or want to be in that group or have more information, you can see Pastor Phil about that. And then the men are going to the Ignite Men's Conference that's held up at Liberty University. If you are interested in that, you can see me or Charlie Tate. You can text the word men to the church text number 336-525-5870. And then on Sunday, February the 11th, right after the worship service, there's going to be an informational meeting about a mission trip to Guyana. You know, we support Angie Hemrick, who is from our church and doing the mission work down there. We have a trip planned for September the 20th through the 28th. Pastor Denise will be giving you information about that. So if that's something that interests you or something that you may want to be a part of, start praying about that and come get some information on that. So we're excited about that opportunity. I just want to share with you for a few moments. I shared with the 21 days of prayer when we were going through that I felt like the Lord had given me the word boldness for this year. In Acts 4:13 it says, "Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived they were unschooled and ordinary men, they marveled and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus." And then after Peter and John, they said that verse about them, that was in response to Peter and John healing a blind or a crippled beggar at the temple gates. They were brought before the Sanhedrin, they were put on trial, they were given threats, and then they go back to the church and convey all those threats, and the church responds by praying to the Lord, "Give us more boldness." Pastor Denise had this little thing made for me to keep on my desk to remind me of boldness. And in boldness, that the Greek word there has two meanings in the original language. One meaning is to be full of confidence, courage, assurance. It means to be free and fearless. In Philippians 1, Paul talks about, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. But in the verse just before that, in Philippians 20, he talks about how he has been lifted up by the prayers of the people, and he has a sufficient courage. That's the same word there that's often translated boldness. He has a boldness that has come from their prayers, and he has prayed, and he knows that if he lives, it's going to be Christ. If he dies, it's for his gain. The second meaning is to be plain, to be open, to be unambiguous about what we're speaking. In the Gospel of Mark, after Peter confesses who Jesus is, the Bible says that Jesus begins to speak plainly or boldly to them about the cross and what was coming. In the Gospel of John, when Jesus is going to heal Lazarus and He tells the disciples that Lazarus is asleep and they think he's getting better because he's asleep. And then it says that Jesus told them plainly, He told them boldly that no, Lazarus is dead and we're going there. And so there's those two meanings, and when we put them together, it's to speak plainly and to speak openly without courage, or with courage, without fear, with assurance of what God is doing in our life. And it's when they saw that in the disciples that they knew that these disciples, Peter and John, had been with Jesus. So my prayer this year for me, my prayer for us as a church, is that we will be plain, that we'll be open, that we'll be fearless, that we will be full of courage and confidence as we share what God has done in our life and who He is to us and the work that He's doing. So church, I just pray that as we continue in 2024, that God will fill us with His boldness. Have a great week, church. See you Sunday.